American Sniper is a movie about a Navy SEAL named Chris Kyle and was released in 2014 on Christmas Day. Chris Kyle was a Navy SEAL and was labeled one of the deadliest snipers in American history. He fought during the Iraq War, which is part of the War on Terrorism. Chris Kyle went on 4 tours in Iraq, where they teamed up with Marines and went door to door looking for insurgents. Chris Kyle was such a good sniper that the Iraqis put a $20,000 bounty on his head and called him the Devil of Ramadai. Chris Kyle was credited with over 160 kills during his military time and was awarded with 2 Silver Stars and 5 Bronze Stars. He left the war in 2009 to be reunited with his family, but he had trouble readjusting to his civilian life. He had found a new calling by helping other veterans who had suffered from physical and mental trauma during the war, but ended up being killed by one of the veterans helping him. American Sniper was a film directed by Clint Eastwood. The film was based on the American Sniper, the autobiography of the most lethal sniper in the U.S. military history, which was written by Chris Kyle. The movie starts out with a scene where Chris Kyle, Bradley Cooper, was stationed on top of a building watching a Marine convoy moving through the streets. Through his scope, he sees a woman and a child walk out into the street. The woman hands a child a grenade, and the woman hands the child a grenade, and Chris has to decide whether to shoot the child or not. The movie then flashbacks to when Chris was a kid and was hunting with his dad. He was already a great shot, but had no intention of joining the military. He wanted to be a cowboy and would spend weekends going out with his brother to the rodeos. And after one of Chris's rodeos, they were watching the stars and saw the embassy bombings. This caused Chris to go be a recruiter, where he joins the SEALs. He goes through his training to become a sniper and also meets Taya, Sienna Miller. Then they end up getting married right before Chris gets deployed to Iraq on his first tour. He is then again on the rooftops, where has to decide if he's going to shoot the child. The child goes to throw the grenade, and Chris Kyle shoots, and the mother, before the grenade, shoots the child. Chris Kyle then decides he shoots the child and kills the mother before the mother. Oh my God, man, fuck. The kid goes to throw the grenade, and Chris Kyle shoots him and the mother before the grenade can hit the convoy. He feels remorse for killing a child, but knows he did the right thing. He becomes one of the best snipers and is known as the Legend. This also caused him to get a bounty placed on his head for $180,000. Through the tours, they are hunting down a terrorist known as the Butcher, but keep getting stopped by an enemy sniper known as Mustafa. They end up being able to kill the Butcher, but Mustafa ends up shooting Biggles and Markley, two SEALs that were partnered with Chris Kyle. The movie climaxed when Chris wanted revenge when on his last tour, spots Mustafa over 1 mile away and shoots him, but alerts others and insurgents surround the rooftop they are on. They are able to hold their ground until support comes, and they are able to escape by a truck and They are able to hold their ground until support comes, and they are able to escape by truck because of a sandstorm. After this, Chris leaves the military and has trouble readjusting to civilian life again. Loud noises scare him, and he gets angry when he sees a dog tugging on a kid's collar and goes to beat up the dog. He goes to therapy, where he talks to other veterans who suffered from war trauma and helps them shoot. He continues to help other veterans while he raised his 2 kids and his wife Taya, until he went to help with another veteran with PTSD, who ended up killing him. The movie then ends, shows footage from his funeral with thousands of people lined up along the streets. The movie was very good overall, and was very heartbreaking to some people who knew Chris Kyle. But there were some things that could have been done up better. One of those was showing the time pass. It seemed like he was only in Iraq for a couple of weeks before he went home, when in reality he was there for almost a year. They didn't have anything to show the time passing. Another example of the time passing is when they were holding his baby, and they clearly were just holding a doll, and the CGI of a dead deer when he was hunting was not all that great. Other than this, the movie was great. The movie, shit. Other than this, the movie was great. The sniping and fighting scenes were fantastic. Historically speaking, there were some inaccuracies with the movie. The first thing was that in real life, there was never actually a child that Chris Kyle shot. The two villains of the movie are also inaccurate, and Chris Kyle did hear of a sniper named Mustafa, but never saw him. And the butcher was completely made up. The reason Chris joined the military was also not real, and it was because of the embassy. It was because of the embassy bombings. He had always had the thought to join the military when growing up, and never had remorse for killing Iraqis. Another thing that was exaggerated was the bounty on the said. It was actually around 20,000 instead of 180,000. Overall, the movie was quite good, despite the historical inaccuracies in the movie, the CGI. The history of it was really good, and it was mostly accurate. The plot of the movie was also very entertaining to watch, and showed how soldiers suffered from the war even after it. The climax and ending were very good, and showed real footage from his funeral, even though they were not things to like about the movie. It's still a great movie. It was still a great movie to watch.